coming out this morning to Panthers Rugby League Academy. And now I'd like to hand you over to Panthers Chairman Peter Graham with the major club announcement.
Well, good morning everyone, and a very warm welcome to Panthers Academy. On behalf of the Penrith Panthers Board, I'm pleased to announce that NRL head coach Ivan Cleary and co-captain Nathan Cleary have both re-signed with the club until the end of the 2027 season. Ivan will remain as head coach of the Panthers for at least the next 5 seasons after committing his future to the club. Ivan was already contracted with Panthers for the 2023 NRL season, but he's now extended his deal for a further 4 years. Following a successful playing career spanning 11 seasons, Ivan first started coaching in the NRL in 2006 and has gone on to coach 375 first grade games, as well as being named Dally M Coach of the Year on 2 occasions. While having a competitive NRL team is important to us, it's Ivan's commitment to the continued development of our culture that makes him so valuable to our club. Penrith Panthers is also pleased to announce that Nathan Cleary has committed his future to the club. Nathan has more than 2 years remaining on his current NRL contract, but has extended this for a further 3 seasons, meaning he will remain in Panthers colours until at least the end of the 2027 season. Nathan has played 122 first grade games, featured in 2 grand finals, represented New South Wales in 10 State of Origin matches, and has been named Dally M Halfback of the Year on 2 occasions. However, his biggest career achievement, along with co-captain Isaiah Yeo, was leading the Panthers to the 2021 NRL Premiership, in which he claimed the Clive Churchill Medal as Player of the Match. Nathan is a true professional in the way that he approaches his game, and we've been tremendously impressed in how he has grown as a leader in our club. This is an exciting day for Panthers. We're extremely pleased to have locked in the premiership-winning father and son duo. There are 2 people who have been instrumental in enabling this announcement today. Firstly, our former chairman, Dave O'Neill. Dave has been a big part of so much of the current success, and we thank him for his service to Panthers. And importantly, Brian Fletcher, our CEO. Brian, as well as being our very successful Group CEO, has established an excellent working relationship with Ivan, so important in enabling today's announcement. Brian, thank you, and over to you.
Thanks, Peter. Just to give you some context on how this has all come around, we had our board elections back in February, and the new board was announced, and Peter was announced as the new chairman. And at that board meeting, the board asked me then to start negotiations to extend, with Ivan and his management and Nathan and his management to extend their contracts and to go out as long as possible. They were so confident and so happy with both of them. So I started those negotiations in early March with the management and Nathan and Ivan. We finished those negotiations at the end of March. They were very easy negotiations, and I must thank Nathan and Ivan. They went into those negotiations and their management with the spirit of knowing that we had a salary cap that we had to abide by, and we had a soft cap as well. And I'd be certain both gentlemen, if they went on the open market, they'd probably receive bigger salaries than what they've agreed to at Panthers. But they want to stay. To be able to get them out to 27, I took that agreement back to the board, and they signed off on it. In the last couple of weeks, we've just been putting pen to paper and a few little details that we had to sort out. They've been sorted. So thanks to Ivan and Nathan and to their management, it was an easy process, and if all negotiations were like that, it would be great. And they realised it was the start of a puzzle we had to put together, which the board asked me to start off with, was negotiating with Ivan and Nathan Now there's other players coming off contracts in 2022, which our new CEO at the March board meeting, the board announced that the new CEO of Rugby League would be Matt Cameron. I took the job on back in 2016, just in a caretaker's role when Corey Payne departed quickly, and I didn't realise till today that it was back then. So it's time for me to concentrate on the group, and we've got some new stadium coming up, a 1,000-seat convention centre, a new hotel we're building now. So I've got to concentrate on that. But behind the scenes, I've had the CEO next to my name, but Matt's been the main contributor to the football part of it, and I'm great to see him leading the football forward now. We're in a terrific position. The last 2 years financially, the football club has run at a profit without JobKeeper and JobSaver, so that's a great going into the future, and a lot of that's financial successes on the back of the football side. So we're in a great space, we've got a great pathway system, and we've got a junior rugby league that runs at a profit, and I don't think there's many of those around at the moment. So we've got things going forward, and a lot of that's attributed to Matt and the management under him. So I thank him, I thank the chairman, and thanks to Ivan's management and Nathan's management on completing these two deals and going to 27. I'm sure they'll be talking to both gentlemen sometime closer than that, and we won't let those contracts get right out till the end, I'm sure. I won't be here, but Matt will be here to handle all that. So thank you all for coming.
Thanks, Brian. I've just got a couple of things I'd like to say without sort of going across what Pete and Brian have said. You know, our club at the moment, we sit in a position, we've got there at present through good governance, disciplined decision making and a great culture. Part of that culture starts with the head coach. Since returning to the club, Ivan's been able to provide an environment where both players and staff have been able to flourish, and his desire to make our club a source of community pride is unquestionable. With respect to Nathan, I had a joke with him when we did the paperwork. I did his first contract years ago. Nathan at the moment epitomises what we stand for as a development club, and I think you couldn't find a better example of we've got a philosophy not only within our playing group but within our staff as well that we call built from within, and I think Nathan epitomises that at our club at this point in time. Having them both here on long-term deals future-proofs the Penrith Panthers moving forward. So, that being said, we've got a little bit of paperwork that it's not arduous, but it'll just take 2 seconds that Ivan and Brian have got to do and Nathan himself have got to do, and then I'll open the room up for any questions that you've got. So. That being done, if you'd like to, Michael, open the room up for any questions for anyone up the front.
I guess the most important question is, did you get more money than your dad?
I actually don't know. we'll leave that one unanswered.
What does it mean to you, mate, to sign in for another 5 years, given you've come through the system, as Matt said?
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. It's kind of hard to put into words. It probably only hit me really last night that I was actually going to do this. And yeah, you know, I came over here as a 14-year-old kid, kind of lived in different places growing up, following Dad around, and came out to Penrith, and yeah, it's home for me now. It's an unbelievable place, unbelievable club, and to be able to sign on longer for here, it means everything to me and also my family. To play with guys that I've grown up with, and they've become my best mates. To do that for longer now, and yeah, just be a part of this community. It's pretty special, and yeah, it's something I'm very grateful for. Yeah, and count my blessings for sure.
Nathan, as Brian said, you guys both could have got more money elsewhere. Was that ever a consideration?
Not really at all. You know, just what I kind of mentioned. I'm absolutely blessed to be at this club, and you know, I couldn't really pitch myself anywhere else. It's definitely home for me, and you know, at the end of the day, I'm getting paid to do something I love, and you know, it's to think of that. It's like I look back to when I was a kid, and all I ever wanted to do was to be able to play NRL, and you know, Penrith made that possible for me, and getting paid to do this, it's amazing. You know, it's honestly hard to put into words, but I love it here, and it was never really a consideration to be anywhere else.
What about for you in terms of, I mean, this is you've got to be meeting the dream as well, being able to live life Yeah, it's hard not to think sort of retrospectively and a little bit nostalgically, I suppose, in situations like this. I mean, I was probably just like Nathan, but a lot longer ago, I was the same thing. I just could only dream of playing one game of NRL, and then 30 years later, I'm still fortunate enough, so fortunate enough to be able to live this life. And, yeah, it was only a few years ago that we used to get guys like Jerome Luai and Dylan Edwards and those kind of guys in our pool at home for recovery after like SG ball games and stuff. It's hard to believe that they're all in here and doing so well. So yeah, I couldn't be happier. I'm very proud to lead this club and these boys. It's great fun.
What about the fact that you can build your side now around, I mean, he's 24, he still hasn't really, he's still got so much more to offer the game, and the stability offers you guys here.
Yeah, well, that's I think that's important in any club to have that stability. Just again, so fortunate we have such good people, such good kids here, and they're just kids really. So we're just trying to keep the core of the team together. Obviously Nathan, being a big part of that, because I just feel like we haven't really. Haven't achieved what we've set out to do. We probably never will, because you just want to keep going. We wanted to become a team that's, up there with the best of them, and there's still a long way to go, I think, for us to really be seen as that. So.
Ivan, what do you love most about coaching, and why do you want to keep it on?
Well, look, coaching is one of those things. As a head coach, that it's not it's either one or the other often. There's definitely times where you wonder why you do it, but that's probably the beauty of it, because the good times are just incredible. I love sport. I love being involved in teams, so I get to do that every day. I get to come hang out with these young guys, and you've seen the way they all sort of express themselves and love life, so that makes you feel younger. And it's not just the players, the staff here. Matt mentioned earlier about culture, and so did Pete. And yes, it's my role to drive culture and what it should look like and feel like. But it's only as good as the people you've got. And the staff here as well are just, not only are they great at, they have expertise in their own field, but they are totally committed to teamwork and being a part of this culture. So I'm super lucky. I just love hanging out here. Pretty much, that's probably the best answer.
The man next to you, can he become Penrith's greatest ever player, do you think?
Sorry?
The man next to you, will he become Penrith's greatest ever player, do you think?
Can't see why not. So part of today is, as I said, future-proofing this club moving forward. That's what we've always tried to do. So I can't see why it couldn't be.
Ivan, it's probably not a question for you to answer, I guess, but do you think Nathan has potential to become this club's greatest ever player?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who measures that, and you just look in the history of this club, and there's just so many great players. Guys like Brandy, like in particular, Royce, like those guys are revered in this club, and and he's certainly, I guess, with this deal, he's going to rack up a lot of games, and I feel like he's definitely the best is ahead of him in terms of what he can produce on the field. So it's exciting times, yes, and I feel very, very blessed to be able to share that with him.
Brian, is it fair to say that, or whoever wants to answer, that these are probably the two most important contracts in Penrith history?
They have been for the last decade, for sure. Yes, I've been involved with the club as a director and so forth for 12 years, but yes, without doubt, they're two of the most important contracts signed moving forward, and as Matt said, securing the future for the Panthers Rugby League club, and plus the group as well, because the success on the field comes back to the club financially as well.
Does it make Friday night's game against the Broncos, Ivan, a fair celebration?
Well, every game's a celebration. That's the way we look at it. Certainly not about this, and that's the next. It's all about the next game anyway. So I loved our last home game against the Rabbitohs. It was a really good night for the community. It was a big crowd. Boys played well. And to me, that gives me the most pride when I see not just the boys playing well and all that, but just to see our fans and our community, along for the ride there. And they're all, I can feel like our community does take pride in our team at the moment. So that's a responsibility that we take really seriously. So Friday night's our next opportunity for that, and we better go out and do a good job.
Now, can you take me through the actual thought process? This is a big deal. I mean, obviously money's a factor, but whatever. Take me through the thought process of all the boxes you tick to go, I want to be committed to here long term. This is what this means to me. It's a big contract.
It probably wasn't really that hard of a decision for me. As I said before, it probably only hit me last night that I was actually able to do this, and how grateful I was for the club to offer this to me. And it's home for me. It's the only place I've wanted to be. And I was, as soon as I found out about the contract extension, I pretty much wanted to get it done straight away. And again, I'm just grateful for the club for what they've been able to do for me, develop me, turn me into the player I am today. And I know they'll continue to put work into me to make me even better in the future. And I'll always be proud to say I'm a Panthers player. And that's till the end, really. So I'm just very happy to be able to do this. And it really wasn't that hard of a decision for me.
I've had quite a fair say in the salary cap and the management of that, and given you've got so many good players coming through, this conversation here, and obviously Nathan on the open market contract probably more than what he'd get here. How did you balance that discussion around what he's worth, but also knowing that as the coach, you had other people to keep as well?
It was just probably a frank conversation between Nat and I. I think that's probably one of the advantages we have is our relationship. So, we've had this conversation with other players as well over the last couple of years about this situation we're in, where we can't keep the team together. So, I think it's not just Nathan. Like, there's been a bunch of guys who've signed here who could have got more money elsewhere, and that's going to be a conversation we're going to have to keep having. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. So, but I just think it's probably a wrap for Nat that that he thinks that way, and he wants to try and keep his team together.
I think there was talk before the grand final that if you won, potentially you might hang up the clipboard. Did you think about calling it quits at the end of this deal, or were you always going to coach on after 23?
Yeah, I don't know who said that, but there's definitely been times in my career where I've, and I'm sure I'm not the only coach who's been around for a while, where you don't really put a time limit on when you're going to finish or whatever, and it could come. One thing I know is it can come quicker than you think sometimes. But I guess for me at the moment, I feel supported by the board. Have always felt that way, which is really nice, and it gives I feel like in my own coaching, I feel like I've got more to give and I can improve. And obviously we've got a great team and a great support staff here as well. So for me, I feel very comfortable about the future, that I can still add value to the club, and if I can do that, then I'll stay.
Ivan, you're also probably quite comfortable with the pathways, who you've got to work with. You're familiar with all of that, so that you've got to work with in the future. That's obviously encouraging as well. Yeah,
absolutely. Nathan touched on it. We came here from New Zealand at the start of 2012, so 10 years ago. I'm from Sydney, from the Northern Beaches, and it could have been easy just to go and live over there. But we wanted to immerse ourselves in the community out here. As a result, Nathan became a Penrith junior, so that worked out well. But my family's now becoming, like we're Penrith people. My kids just love it. They don't want to be anywhere else. And I've seen firsthand this pathway system, and mentioned so many of the guys in the NRL team now have come through this system, and I've seen them as kids come through, and we continue to get them through. But it's a lot of hard work there too. Like it doesn't just happen. It's one thing to have a lot of juniors, but to turn them into NRL players, that's another thing altogether. So the club's done an amazing job there and continues to do so, and it's so important for us in the future.
When you're up against Kevin Walters and Billy Walters, what sort of advice would you sort of give now that you've had 4 years sort of living that just around handling the father-son combination?
Look, I don't know if I have to give Kevy any advice. It looks like he's been pretty upfront about that. And, the advantage I have is that I've never had to worry about whether Nathan gets picked in the team. Well, not yet anyway. So I think that's and when we decided to do this together, that was always going to be I think it would be a little more difficult if there was decisions pretty much all the time whether he's in or he's out or whatever, because the outside noise there would definitely be some around. So yeah, I don't have to worry about that. But from the outside looking in, like, I think Kevy looks like he's handling it really well, and young Billy's playing well. So it looks like that's working out well together.
Nathan, how did your obviously great news for Panthers fans, but how did your teammates react when knowing that you and Dad are going to be sticking around for the next 5 years?
They don't really know.
Oh, they don't know yet.
A couple of them sent me a message last night just when they saw the initial reports, but that's about it at the moment.
Expecting some texts after this.
Yeah.
Matt, when a half and a coach re-sign, I guess everyone talks about the return you're going to get on it. Obviously, you guys have already got a pretty great return out of these two, but over the next 5 years until 2027, I mean, is there a number on premierships or whatever that you think would absolutely make this a success?
I think you could fall into the trap of, publicly putting a plan together and stating those things, and I think it could go horribly wrong at times as well. We're process driven here, and if we stick to our processes, then we'll get the results at the end. But we're not going to, we're not going to pin things on the walls of what we can achieve over the next 5 years. But we're very process driven here.
Now, I know you're not driven by money, but surely more shoes, bigger boat. What are you doing?
I don't know. We'll see. But I'm definitely not driven by money, and it's obviously, again, like I said it before, I'm just blessed to be able to just get paid to do what I love, and sometimes you can get lost in it all with your love for the game, with all the other stuff that comes with it in the NRL. But when you actually sit back and realise, how lucky I'm meant to be in the position I'm in today, and sign another deal with the club I love, it doesn't get much better than that.
Now, I was having a look at the footage today of the moment you and your dad embraced after the grand final. How motivated are you to experience that 2.0?
Oh, more than ever, probably. I think even the feeling of, we've lost one and to win one, I definitely know what I prefer. So to be able to, again, we're not, we're very process driven, but, that's always the goal at the end of the day. And, that's a feeling that I'll never forget, to, share it with someone that I've looked up to my whole life, and he's been there every step of the way. To share such a big moment like that with the rest of our family was amazing, and I'd love to be able to do it again.